A long time ago, I read a book called The Art of Storytelling by John Walsh. In that book, he outlined certain steps for presenting a great story. I don't know if Anubhav Singh Bassi has read the same book, but it is his qualities, his traits of being a stand-up comic with a unique personality, with a unique style of telling a story that I think has propelled him to success in the Indian stand-up comedy scenes. Don't just take my word for it. On his channel, Anubhav Singh Bassi on YouTube, he has only 3 videos. All of these videos are incredibly popular. They have more than 10 million views. Even the latest one, which was published only a week ago, has 12 million views and will well surpass the 15 million mark easily. He has close to 1.5 million subscribers, and Anubhav Singh Bassi is quickly climbing to the top of the Indian stand-up comedy scene. So in this episode of About That YouTuber, this is what we're going to do. We're going to analyze and break down what makes Anubhav Singh Bassi a great storyteller, and what makes this video really special for me and this guy really special for me is that he belongs to the same city as I do. So it'll be a lot of fun analyzing Anubhav Singh Bassi in this new episode of About That YouTuber. Let's begin. The 10 steps of telling a great story form the structure of this video, and we're going to break down Anubhav Singh Bassi's characters, his stories, his stand-up scenes amongst these 10 steps. The first step talks about knowing your audience. The reason Anubhav Singh Bassi is so popular is because he knows the audience that he performs in front of. On his YouTube videos and the 3 YouTube videos that he has put out so far, he has an audience that primarily belongs to the northern part of India. The northern part of India, where Anubhav Singh Bassi himself is from, he knows and understands this audience because he has lived there, he has grown up there. And the first characteristics of being a great storyteller is to know your audience. It determines how long the story should be, what language you should be using, who are you speaking to, and Anubhav Singh Bassi in his videos has depicted it in an incredible manner that he knows his audience, what they will laugh at, what the punchlines will be, and how to make them connect. The next step, of course, in telling a great story is to how to make the audience care. Of course, the way Anubhav Singh Bassi does it is because he takes them on a ride on his story from his past, because the stories that he's trying to tell them is the one that they will be interested in, is the story that will be relevant to his audience. It is the story that will be clear in your mind, in his mind as a storyteller, and it definitely becomes clearer in the minds of the listeners, and that makes them care. Step number 3 on telling a great story is setting the scene. And this is what comes with experience. This is something that comes with experience because it is very important to capture the audience engaging with their senses. In the 3 videos on his YouTube channel so far, the first one is about cheating in examination. It's a really funny scene where he sets up the examination hall. He sets up everyone sitting in the exam hall that is part of the story, and you as a viewer, as a listener, can place it in your head the exact scenario that might have taken place. Even if the story might be fictitious, but you still know what is happening, how it is happening, and where it is happening. Similarly is the case in his rest of the other videos where he sets up the scene just perfectly. The next step, which is being creative with the chronology of your story, is where I think Anubhav Singh Bassi makes the most impact. Definitely on his YouTube videos. If you go out and see his stand-up scene out of context, you will have a 1-hour context for the entire scenario. But when you're watching a 12 or a 15-minute video on YouTube, you are put in right in the middle of the action, where the attention is caught because of the certain words that he used in the front or the starting of the story. It is one of the easiest way to arouse curiosity. It arouses suspense, it arouses tension, all mixed with a healthy tinge of comedy. Since the viewer does not know what's happening, they will continue to watch, they will continue to engage and try and solve the missing pieces of the puzzle of the story that he is trying to build. The 5th step of telling a great story is to knowing your punchline. And this is where the advantage of being in a stand-up scene presents itself. Anubhav Singh Bassi throughout his videos has a lot of punchlines. He exhibits all the traits of being a presentable, understanding, all-knowing stand-up performer who understands where the punchlines will fit the best. And they're not just related to the main premise of a story, they're related to callbacks, they're related to random things that he just pulls out of the air, which of course brings out from the personality that he has developed over his career as a stand-up comic, over his experiences in life. And that is a trait that cannot be duplicated easily, which sets him apart from the pack of stand-up comics in the country at this scene. The punchlines that he delivers in his jokes and his performance are really impactful because they keep the audience going back to the scene that he has set, going back to the chronology and the curiosity that he has built, and going back to the reason that they care about his performance, and these punchlines always keep them on their toes. The next step, which is engaging with the audience, also comes in from the personality. If you analyze any of his videos, just play any of the videos, just mute the audio, and you will realize his body language is exactly the way he wants his audience to feel. He's relaxed, he's not tense, he's not nervous, he has a smile on his face constantly. He acts and behaves with his audience in the sense that the audience will react as if he were talking to a friend in the middle of a coffee shop, or just sitting or walking with a friend on the road. That is the kind of connect that the audience builds with the performer on stage, and that comes from knowing the audience from the inside out. His body language, his way of smiling, his way of holding the mic, his way of walking, his stance is the things that subconsciously the audience understand in the best manner. It is what gets them comfortable, it is what gets them intensely involved within the story. The next two steps are ones that Anubhav Singh Bassi employs very cautiously and very carefully. There is a sense of tension within the story throughout. There is always something bad that might happen to the character that he is talking about, but since he is presenting them in a comical manner, you simply want to know what happens, but you also know that subconsciously by the end, by the time that you know what is happening, you are going to be laughing in the middle of a laugh riot. The tension that you feel in the story that Anubhav Bassi tells can be explained similarly to watching a movie, where you can simply not want to get to the end, but you also want to enjoy the ride. Or reading a book that was so intense that you simply had to read until you finished the full book and then forgot about everything but only about the story. This is what he achieves with his storytelling. This is what he achieves with his performance. He is descriptive when he is telling his story. He builds tension around the characters, he builds tension around the setting, and as and when the climactic moment arrives, the grand finale of his stand-up scene, the grand finale of this 10-minute video, it feels like a grand finale. It feels like the end of the 10-minute, that final punchline, that final joke that you heard that got you laughing out of your seat is leaving a sense of awe, kind of a feeling where you leave after moving a great film. And the trait of a great story that ends with a finale that you can never forget, or at least stays in your mind for much longer after you have finished the video or finished the story, is the trait of our great story that you've just been told. And that is a similar characteristic that you can see across all of his 3 videos. And finally, the last 2 steps about telling a great story is that the audience does not need to be limited by just the words that he is speaking. Since stand-up comedy is a visual medium, of course you can put the video in a back tab and just keep playing it without watching the trait, but because the charismatic performance, because of the story, because of the words, because of the performance, because of the body language that the storyteller is using, you are much more engaged, you are much more obsessed with the performance. And because the visual medium has its trait of turning into unique personalities, unique moments, unique stories, unique words, unique phrases, it entertains the viewers and it helps build the brand, which of course finally leads into the fact that the storyteller needs to himself or herself enjoy the process of telling that story. And it is very visible in the point that Anubhav Singh Bassi, from his performance, even the behind the scenes videos that you might check out in other vlogs that he features in, and the stories that he's telling in his stand-up performances, you can see it very clearly that he is enjoying the process of telling this story to his audience. He relives his experiences, he relives his stories, he builds the stories in a way that the audience feels as if they were right there with Anubhav Singh Bassi in the middle of that story as and when it was happening in the past. That is the trait of a great storyteller. The adventure he provides to this audience lives on forever and after. It is enjoyed by people all over the country. It is a comedic scene, it brings happiness to the people. It is loved vivaciously by everyone who watches it. It is evident in the response that he has got on his videos. It is evident in the comments that he gets. It is evident in the laugh of the audience that is sitting in his stand-up scene, because you just cannot fake being a great storyteller. Telling a great story is a trait that is a very heavily unrecognized trait, and Anubhav Singh Bassi in that sense has shown the stand-up comic scene, shown the audience that if you are a great storyteller, if you have great stories to tell, and if you know how to tell them, there is no better way to engage the audience and build your own brand than Anubhav Singh Bassi has done in the stand-up comedy scene. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching this new episode of About That YouTuber. This was a very different style of this playlist that I'm doing. Of course, you can check out the other episodes from the playlist in the link and the description. I hope Anubhav Singh Bassi watches this video, and if he does, then please let me know what you felt about it. Please, since I'm using your videos, don't copyright strike my channel. And I come up with a new episode in the About That YouTuber series every Saturday, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check out the other episodes in the playlist, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.